Hi, I wanted to start a video. I made a YouTube channel so long ago, just like 7 years ago, making Clash of Clans videos and stuff like that. I was always wanting to be like a YouTuber, such like that. But as I grew older, I kind of, got more educated, had, you know, realities, kind of, perceptions on things to change that, change that mindset to grow towards an older adult, which I'm not an adult. I'm 17, but you know what I mean. It's deeper than that. But I kind of want to just talk about everything that I've been thinking about since then. Honestly, I want to see who relates to me and who thinks the same way I do. Because generally, where I live right now, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people that think like me and do that because of religion. And not to say that I'm not against religion. I'm never against anything like that. I think whatever you believe in, you should believe in that full-heartedly. It's just I have a different approach and opinion on it, and I think a lot of people change their opinion on me if I have that. You know what I mean? And it's like, so why is that? Is it because how they were brought up? It's like it goes deeper to like the ideology that we're taught that in when we're younger, that if we don't believe in such things, that we'll be banished to eternal hell. And that always bothered me as a young kid. I think around the age of like 5, 7 ish. That's kind of when I started to face the reality that a lot of kids didn't. I think I matured faster in that way, but not a lot in other certain areas, which you know it's deeper than that. But I'm not meaning to say that I'm very but that is a side track thing. But it's just, why do people start to have that hatred towards someone, or they think they're irrational for thinking that they're not, they think less of them, or they're like, oh, I'm gonna pray for you, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, thank you, but also, what do you mean by that? Am I doing something wrong? And and me doing something wrong, are you just like not okay with me after that? Which, that's just speculation. It doesn't mean that it's true. It's just the way my brain works, kind of. And I think a lot of people do have that same type of thought process. It's just a lot of people like saying that because it's an anxiety thing. It's not something that you want to talk about because it's something that is it's been brought to us for as we've been born and as we've been brought up in this world. But continuing that, it's like, why do they think that? Is it because they were born and they had the ideology of hell, and if we don't believe in Jesus, then we will be eternally there for it? And as I was saying, with that thought process of uh, being banished there, and because of that, because of not believing, I always think of like, would I want to send anyone to hell because I didn't like them? You know what I mean? And that's a human thought. It's not like a godly, otherworldly thing. I'm not saying God can't, like, I mean, I'm not God, in that ideology of, if this story or whatever was true. You know, I'm not supreme ruler. I can't obviously make that choice, but as a human and as a society, we know that it's not right. I don't want anyone to eternally suffer just because of something. No matter, I mean, obviously, Hitler, stuff like that. But even so, it's just, after eternally suffering, that's not something that anyone would ever want for anyone. Like, it's something that sounds terrible, and I think I matured faster in that way. Were having those thoughts. I kind of, when I was younger, I had that at 7, and that always used to scare me. It would be, am I wrong for thinking this? Does that mean I have to go to hell? Because I was brought up towards that. I was brought up towards thinking that if I thought that way, I wouldn't be able to, live with my family and, be alive. Honestly, like, not to an extreme of being alive, but I wouldn't be able to see them and stuff. So I almost had that ideology that I need to do that to fit in, you know. So I did, honestly, you know, I started trying to believe. I always had it in the back of my mind, you know. It's your subconscious. I kind of had that subconscious in me forever. It's just, it was always in the back of my mind, like, I know that what I'm believing is probably not, like, you know, likely, but I'm just trying to do this so I can maybe, you know, hopefully believe one day, you know. And that's kind of, I feel like, how people are. It's really just blindness, you know what I mean? It's no matter what, they're so committed to this, like, fallacy. Well, I don't want to say fallacy because anyone can be Christian or anything, and I hope there is a God. I hope. And that's just still, it doesn't defy, no matter what I hope, it doesn't change anything, you know. It's still that thought process, and it's still going to be my brain. But that subconscious always was lingering. It was like, you know, I don't really believe in all this stuff that I'm, like, trying to, you know, believe in. And I would always scare myself. I would always think, oh my gosh, I'm going to eternally suffer and stuff, because I see all of my family members thinking this, doing all of that, and it's like, I'm there, but am I in? Am I fitting in? Am I that like, you know, am I being present enough? Because I'm having these thoughts, these lingering things, but it always scared me, and I couldn't, you know, rationalize it. It's an unrational thought, you know, eternally suffering. It's not something that's rational. It's not something that we can process, because it's not, you know, it's not of this world. But I would always scare myself. I would always scare myself into believing in Jesus and stuff like that. And I think, you know, as I got older, more matured, I think around 7th grade is kind of when I really understood more of history. I kind of went to this advanced school in City High, or City High Middle, and that was a world, like, history. And one story that really stuck with me was the story of, like, the Qin emperor, or the Qin dynasty emperor, his quest for immortality. You know, he was taught from their, like, beliefs and structures, their god, and they were back, you know, thousands, or I'm not sure the exact date, but you know what I mean. It's very far in the past, and they fully believe in their, you know, religious thing. So anyway, to continue with the story, it was told that this elixir would grant him immortality if he took it. And the elixir was actually mercury, you know, and it poisoned him. It killed him. That's what believed killed him, at least. We don't know where his tomb is. I'm pretty sure it's actually filled in like a mercury tomb. But you know, interesting enough, it's like, okay, they full on believe that. Doesn't mean that they're correct, as we see that as a, you know, a present society now. You know, we see that that's not right, which obviously it's still opinionated, you know. I mean, still an opinion. It doesn't change anything. We don't know. We just have, you know, the scribes or whatever, which can still be said, you know, disproven by someone else's opinion, which is going to stick with them for the rest of their lives, you know. And I try to have that consciousness thought of being able to process that and understand that no matter what I say, people will have that thought. So, and same with me, you know. I think I try to keep an open mind, but it leads back. I'm human too. We're all human, but you know, some are more aware, and I think I'm honestly lucky to be able to think like this. You know what I mean? We're in a first world country. We're in America, and I'm able to have this education, this thought process, be able to process these things. And you know, third world countries are not. You know, they're not thinking of this conscious thought being of like why. You know, like they're focused on certain aspects of their life because they're accustomed to their culture. You know, they have to focus on survival and, you know, where they're gonna eat, like how they're gonna live, like, you know what I mean. It's a third world country. It's not something that's like light. It's their life, and they don't have, you know, the internet. They don't have all this unknowing knowledge that we are accustomed to, and that builds into our responsibility. I feel like, honestly, as Americans, that we have this opportunity to be able to process and think these through and understand right from wrong, we need to help out these other countries that aren't being able to do this. You know what I mean? And I'm not, I don't come from money. I don't come from anything. I'm honestly an orphan, so it's weird, but it's like, why? It's like, we have this education, we're able to process things, and we're able to know that we can. It all leads to money and stuff like that, and I feel terrible. I hope that I can go on something to help third world countries. I would say I want to go on a religious thing, because they do help, but it's like it's also against what I believe, like, religiously, which I guess that's just an excuse. Honestly, I can go do that, and I can just be ignorant to their religion and stuff. I can just still have that thing just to build those foundations in schools. And it's like, at us as like, this education system that we have, we need to utilize this so we can focus on global problems. You know what I mean? It's a terrible thing, and we're not truthfully understanding that. I think we're so accustomed to what we see on the internet. You know what I mean? And a way I can explain that is such, like, there's hunters. We have people that kill the livestock. We eat it. We consume it. Many wouldn't hunt. You know what I mean? They would easily consume hundreds of thousands of meat throughout the years, but they would never pick up a gun and kill something. And that's because we're so accustomed to not doing that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's something that we were taught. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just that it's morbid to them. You know what I mean? We're so accustomed to not having death. It's a morbid thought, and that morbidity also, that relates to the talk of religion. It's like, we're scared of death almost, that we have to blind ourselves in ideologies that really don't make sense anymore. You know what I mean? We're able to carbon date things that go past, all the things that disprove a lot of the foundations of religion. You know what I mean? And it's an interesting subject. It's not a guaranteed thing to say, oh, you're sophisticated, like, you're stupid for thinking that. You're not. It's your personal faith. It's faith. It's not something that we can change. But another topic I kind of wanted to talk about was anxiety. Being able to understand and process those things. And I have this book here, actually. I just started reading it, 50 Ways to Rewire Your Anxious Brain. For one moment, I need to hit the pen. Okay. So I got this book not too long ago. There's a table of contents if you guys are interested in reading it, which no one probably will read it, but it's just for my personal thing. That is the table of contents. And one thing that I just saw, it was part 2, rewiring your amygdala. Sorry, I can't pronounce it right. I'm very, but it says, follow your goals, not your fear. And that, reconciles with me. It's like, we're so anxious to do things, like, we're so anxious to start new things, ask for that raise, and it's something that we need to rewire. It's something that we need to be considerate about. We need to understand that this is not a rational thought. Like, you're okay with asking for a raise if you see all of your other workers, co-workers making more than your pay if y'all been there for the same time. It's something that we need to improve it as a society, and it's something that I want to talk about. But I'll read some parts of it. But it says, we encourage you push through your fears. We recognize that this is a difficult challenge. We would never suggest pushing through your anxiety is easy, but the good news is that you don't need to face all your fears. If you're afraid of snakes but rarely ever encounter snakes, this is not a problematic fear. But if you have anxiety about asking your boss for a raise and your other employees are successfully getting higher salaries while you settle for your original compensation, that is a fear that is reducing your quality of life. And that's what I mean. It's like we have these thoughts and ideologies that we're somehow wrong, and maybe that's how we were brought up with, the education system and stuff like that and such. It's like we're wrong for thinking these things, and you're not wrong for thinking those things. Like, come out and say those things. It's not wrong, and I've done that too, and I always still do. I mean, it's something that I need to work on also. And another thing I want to talk about. Being able to process things more faster than other people. You know what I mean? It's like, why am I able to think these crazy thoughts? It's like I walk past the fucking set in stone. I'll show you a picture. I literally just took it today. But it's a set in stone path. This is a set in stone path, and then this is the one that we choose. And it's like, that's just simple symbolism. It's not something fucking, exotic. I've had much more deeper thoughts than that, but that's just for an example for today, because it just happened 35 minutes ago. But it's something that I think about all the time, and I feel like a lot of people aren't like that. They're not as sophisticated. They haven't got out of their, their normal, let's say, mind. Like, they're so enveloped in other things. I watched this video about levels of consciousness. His name was let me see his name. Something Bro, but it's like the levels of consciousness, which obviously is like, sure, you don't have to believe it. I'm not saying you do, but it's interesting. His name is Homath, but it's levels of thinking. It's not levels of consciousness, but it's like thinking different things. You're observing other people, and it's like it's an interesting thing. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. It's not like I'm unique in that such, but it's so cool. It's so cool. It's so cool to think about. Very cool. And it's like, there's still so much I want to talk about. I don't mean to. It's just more of the pause is just what do I want to talk about? What am I thinking about right now? But I think like, why people act the way they do. It's like, me as a person, I'm able to understand, like, as I was continuing talking about like the levels of like thinking, I'm able to understand why people act the way they do with psychology. It's like, and there's reasons why people act the way they do. There's reasons why there's reasons why, because they're brought up, they have family traits, they have family things given down to them, and that's also with religion, that's also with everything, because it's all connected, it's as a society, as a, organism, biome, or whatever you want to say, as a collective group of people, as a cluster, we, connect, we're a social species, and, as a family, you grow up, and you're able to, that's your thought process, is what you see, what you're taught, until you go to school, and then you start, learning what the other people know, and then that's, it's a big massive difference. It's a big massive difference, and that doesn't lead well sometimes, and that leads to conflict with people, certain people, and races, and it's like, why? Is it because they just don't have the lower level, higher level thinking skills of maybe they're also having their personal experience in their own life, and that's why they're acting that way. So you could probably just be quiet and step back and understand that person. You know what I mean? And I haven't done that, but I've been wrong before. You know what I mean? I haven't It's all part of the it's part of all the process. You know, it's not an instant thing. It's not something that's gonna automatically happen, but it's still such a it's an interesting topic. Uh, it's a very interesting topic, and to be honest, today something happened also. Very crazy. Fucking. So basically, I'm gonna tell you this story. It's not a story because I guess it's a story, but it is true. But so basically, I had a sub yesterday, and this sub, I mean, she's been at the school for a while. She's been a sub for a while. I personally didn't like her, you know, like I personally didn't like her sophomore year, junior year. She's always followed the rules, and it's like, whatever. I had that personal bias, but never ever have I ever questioned her authority. You know what I mean? It's the rules. It's something that you have to follow. So we, as a social group at a school, trying to get our education, we can understand that not having cell phones out right now is not the proper thing. That's not the proper etiquette. You know what I mean? And she's an enforcer of the rules, so you can't be mad at her for it. You don't know her. You don't know what her story is. You don't know anything about her. You know what I mean? So I've never done that. I've never been able to. I'm just not that type of person to do that. So, like, you know, and maybe I have done something like that before, but that was when I was younger, you know, and now I'm able to understand that. And that's what I mean. Some people aren't able to understand that because they just haven't got to that, like, level of thinking. And unfortunately, I was able to get that kind of younger. But it's like, how can we teach something that it's not really teachable? They don't know because they haven't experienced yet. They have to experience for themselves. But not to get sidetracked, still, like, that doesn't excuse what they do. They still need to understand that, you know, and there has to be a justice towards that, you know what I mean? But anyways, to continue, there's a group of guys, you know, and I'm a dude too. I don't personally fuck with them. There's like not my type of guys. They're like country dudes. I don't know, but I just know. And anyway, hella disrespectful towards the substitute teacher, and I was not messing with that, bro. I was not. And that made me feel the type of way, you know. And I didn't want to say anything yet because I know that she was already gonna feel some type of, you know, she was already feeling bad. Like, you know, as she was reading our attendance, because she was so, like, already distraught with fucking how the people were acting, she was, like, shaking. She was, look at, imagine this is the attendance. She's reading names and she's literally, like this, you know what I mean? And that's not okay. You can't make someone feel like that, you know, and there has to be some type of, you know, repercussion. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, I didn't say shit yet. But today, our teacher gets back. I'm not saying anything, you know, I'm chilling, like, I'm just seeing how today's going. They start getting all riled up, talking about how disrespectful and how bad the substitute teacher had been to them, stuff like that, you know what I mean? They're talking how she's such a bad lady, doing all this stuff, when those people was being very, very, very disrespectful to this lady that they didn't know. They didn't, just because she was enforcing the rules on them, you know what I mean? And what makes you a better, like, it's something that I personally can't stand with, you know what I'm saying? And I don't give a fuck if it's for them, you know what I don't care if it's for people, like, I don't care. So I said something, I said, like, fuck are y'all talking about, bro? Like, anyway, continuing, I said, y'all was the ones talking hella shit to her, bro. She had nothing to do, y'all was being hella disrespectful to her, and I'm not gonna have y'all saying that shit. That's literally what I said, I swear, I said something, not those exact words, but you can decipher, but you know what I'm saying? They know, bro. They know. There was 30 kids in there. I swear to God. And three of them shut up. They did. I mean, it's whatever. Either way, if all four of them did it, you know what I'm saying? I still had to say something. I said something, and I'm ready to stand on it. You know what I mean? It's something that I have to. It's a subconscious thing that I have to work on, but I'm ready to die about it. Like, you know, I'm ready to die about it. If I'm really saying something, I'm really I have to do it. You know, it's not something that I can turn down. And anyway, one of them gets up trying to buck up. You know what I'm saying? He talking about, fuck is you talking about, like hella shit. So I say, what? Like, you know, I'm already ready. You know, I'm saying I'm already ready. The teacher gets involved. We sit down. I'm chilling right now. I'm like, you know, I'm still hella pissed, boy. I'm already still ready. Boy, that boy went to the bathroom. I waited, bro. I was pissed as fuck. I'm waiting. Dude, I left. I ran out the classroom, cuz, bro. I ran out the classroom. I was really going to, bro. I was really going to, but I had enough self-control. Like, look at my fucking, bro, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see it. Wait. Bro, it's fucked up. Hey. Anyway, I'm in the office. This shit, it's something that I needed to say. It's a sense of justice, and no one can do that. No one's people these days ain't really doing this, bro. And it's like, why are you not? Like, why? It's obviously not my job to do that. It's not my job, and that comes from, you know, it's their parental thing. Like, they need to. But I'm not gonna have you be disrespecting an old, like, you know, old lady like that. So I had to do something. You know what I'm saying? Either way, it doesn't. You know, in the gist of all things, it doesn't matter. But, you know, me as a human and subconscious, like, I have to do something. You know what I mean? I'm not, you know. But anyway, bro, I'm in the office. I'm there for the rest of the day. I'm getting switched out of that class now. It's just, and it's like, why do you think you're able to do that? And in two part, it's like, you almost feel bad for him too. You know, I feel bad for those guys. You know, they're just honestly leeches. You know, it's something that they just don't know. They're not, you know, they're not conscious enough to see what they're doing is you know, elementary. It's not something that you want to be. It's not something that anyone in society wants to, like, you know, if you want to grow. Which I understand that people can have all these traumas in it, and that is what it is. I've had traumas, but, you know, I've had terrible traumas, and I still know as a person, as a decent person, I can't inflict that, you know. Maybe as a kid I did, but, you know, as growing an adult, I can't, you know. It's something that I can't do. There's so much more that I have to talk about too. If people are willing to listen, I'm probably gonna do it, make another video again. It's just there's so much to talk about. It's like the double slit theory, for example. Why, while being observed, not saying eyes or conscious, it's saying literally observed, like as with a measurement or anything. It's not some spiritual thing. It's why are particles, like, you know, when observed, they're not acting like a wave function. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about, and it's quantum, and it's part of the human, you know, evolution. It sounds so confusing and mind-boggling now, but, you know, 100 years from now, it's going to probably be something simplistic. You know, with society of how we've grown as a, you know, a civilization, we're very, very advanced. Like, we're so close to have these, you know, supercomputers, and some people are supercomputers. Their brains are able to, I think, like, William Neal is his name, or let me see. Edward Witten, sorry, I was very off. Edward Witten, he's like a super genius, and I wish I could do that, you know, or maybe not. Maybe that's a curse, being able to process all of that so fast in your brain. That is something that I can't fathom, because my brain isn't high enough. Like, you know, it's not something like that. But there's so much I like talking about. And then with history, religion, like manifest destiny. It's like throughout history, religious background gave people the okay to hurt other people, and that's not right. You know what I mean? They're obviously, like, now as a civilization, we're super advanced. Like, I'm just talking out of my ass, you could say, but it's still like, you know, it was still wrong, you know, it's like slavery and all of that, like it's still, all of that shit is fucking, no, well, obviously fucking slavery wrong. I'm not talking about Manifest Destiny with slavery. I'm talking about kicking Indians out of their land. But like, um, still, fucking slavery is so bad. Like, why the founding fathers, some of them believed in like all of that, which is part intuitive, like with like religion too. Like all of that was back then too, but now like I have that okay, like, oh, I'm gonna be religiously like blind to that truth, you know, like within the Ten Commandments, like thou one does not like own thy mule, thy slave or servant or something like that. Like no, bro. Like I would never imagine owning someone. I don't care how much power I'd ever have. I don't want no power. I just want to be me. You know what I mean? I want to be able to think, process. I don't want to be able to think about this with someone. You know, one day with a girl, maybe. You know, well, no, obviously a girl, but I still, you know, I mean, obviously I want a girlfriend, and it's not that I'm not able to. I mean, I feel like, you know, I'm somewhat a decent person and somewhat decent looking. But I think I've always tried to put like a, not even an act, but like dumb myself down for some people, and like that's desperate. I feel like to fit in, you know. Not to say I'm some super genius. Like obviously, you know, if you're a kid that's been raised with a family that's just been you know, teaching you these things like education, you're obviously going to remember those, you know, things better than I am. But also, are you going to be able to think so, you know, widely about other subjects? It goes hand in hand. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's all interesting. And obviously they can think that that's better what they're doing, and I can think what I'm doing is better. It's just how we are as a civilization. And but as I was saying, it's like I feel like I've had to, you know, dumb myself down for some people, and not to sound like super fucking high of myself. I know I'm not super smart, but I know I'm able to process things that not a lot of people are, and I think I've grown with that a lot. You know, being able to mature that fast, and and it's like, how do I know who like the right person is? Is it just gonna randomly happen? Like, how do I know someone's so sophisticated? Like I guess just through experience. I'm not like, I don't know, bro. I'm still a kid, you know. I'm not like 100%. I'm not 100% all knowing. I don't know exactly what that means or anything, and it's so crazy. It is crazy, guys. It is crazy, bro. My teeth. I look, you want braces, but I don't know when I'm gonna get them, because I am broke. But I'm going to college. I'm going to college for free, so that would be a good thing. Oh yeah, about college. I didn't really know that I wanted to go to college until literally this year. I kind of like secluded myself from everyone, and then I was just high like every day for 4 months, but like blasted, like edibles. Like I'm taking 100 millis, and I'm taking, you know, maybe some fucking codeine, but because of bro, are you recording?
No.
Oh, why's your flash on?
Have you've been sitting here for 30 minutes just talking?
Pretty much, bro.
Bro, you are fucking gone. What's up? Alright.
You're leaving, Tony? You're leaving?
Yeah, I got work.
Okay. Anyway, as I'm continuing, shoot, I don't know, but I've been talking for 35 minutes. I'm gonna go. Peace out, guys.